Hi everyone, it's Andy from the Education Society and Health Pathway. I'm here with one of your fortnightly focus updates. This fortnight, we're going to be concentrating on styles of writing. What I have done in this short presentation is separated styles of writing into kind of CTEC, BTEC styles, and then also considered styles of writing for those of you considering the A-level subject. Just to remind you, on the screen here, you can see the range of BTEC, CTEC, and A-level courses that we cover in our particular pathway. Starting with BTEC or CTEC, and I think it's important to say here that when you join the college in September, obviously the staff will be working alongside you to develop your writing style, and particularly at BTEC, CTEC level, that writing style includes lots of report-based writing. Kind of formal, structured piece of writing which looks at your research into a particular area and your analysis of that particular research. Um, Obviously, this style of writing requires lots of explanation and analysis, and therefore it's important that you become familiar with this particular style. As a general rule of thumb, it says here that reports often in BTEC and CTEC are written in sections. And you can see an example of five key sections that you might include in a report here, including things like the introduction, which gives your work a little bit of context, a methodology section, which looks at the methods that you've used to gather key bits of information, the explanation of your results and your analysis of that, and then your conclusions and your references. You may become familiar over the course of the first year with the Harvard referencing style, and your teachers within your subjects will be able to support you in getting that right from September onwards. The key points around BTEC and CTEC report style writing are listed on the screen here. You've got to make sure that you use a kind of formal writing style, presenting data in charts or graphs, making sure that your work is concise and to the point, but sufficiently analytical. And finally, it's really important that when expressing your views, you're trying to be as objective as possible and you're using the existing data and information. Moving on to A level, the key area in terms of writing style that you'll need to kind of focus on over the course of the 2 years is getting extended writing correct. Extended writing across the A-level subjects within the pathway is really, really important. And for some of those subjects, for example, in A-level geography, it may be that you're writing responses to essay questions that are worth 45 marks on an end of year or final assessment. When obviously you're writing extended prose for a particular purpose, it's obviously important to consider what that purpose is. So, are you describing a process? Are you evaluating a particular procedure? Are you looking at a various range of theories? Or are you looking to provide solutions to problems? Obviously, all of those require a slightly different approach to writing. However, what is consistent are these kind of things that you can see on the screen. Lots of extended pieces of writing in education, society, and health subjects ask you to look for definitions and terminology. They require you to use analytical phrasing, some of which you can see in the middle of your screen here. They often ask you to balance your particular work and come up with things like counter arguments. They ask you to consider different viewpoints. And of course, at all times, it's really important to support your points with reference to theory, with reference to data, so that your point can be really clear. And your evaluation also can be really clear. What is really important is that when you come to A-level subject, you really expect to see these high-level question threads. Things like discuss, to what extent, and evaluate. really enable you to analyze and to work towards a conclusion. So your staff within those subjects will give you lots of guidance, lots of support on exam technique, on extended writing technique, when you join us in September. You may have been asked, of course, to write some extended work for your Find Your Feet activities, and if that's the case, just have a look through the slides again here, and see if you can apply any of these ideas to the work you've been asked to do. One final thing to say is you will have all spent significant amounts of time in English lessons at high school, and obviously GCSE English over the last 2 or 3 years. Please don't forget the kind of basic stuff that you will have been taught at some point during your secondary education. So do those things that make yourself sound clever. So don't forget your discourse markers, your connectives, your conjunctives that you are able to use to make your work flow, to make your paragraphs flow. And again, this will be re-emphasized to you when you join us in September. I cannot stress how important these discourse markers are in terms of making your work sound really academic. One final point to make about your written work is that often your written style and your ability to read widely around a subject go hand in hand. And this is a quote that I often use with some of my students across the pathway, which states that academically you will become a product of what you have read. Those people who have strong writing styles, are able to write academically, clearly, concisely, are those people that read widely and expose themselves to lots and lots of different language and articles and journals. And they can use some of those methods that have been read about. They can use those things within their written work. So please make sure that you value wider reading. You use the LRC, the library, book pods when you join us in September to try and access as many resources as possible. Later in August, we'll provide you with an update on how you can help yourself in terms of independent learning, and obviously wider reading plays an important part in that. The next update in a couple of weeks' time, we'll look at essay planning, and for lots of education, society and health subjects, essay planning is really important, because you've got questions that are worth up to, in some subjects, 45 marks. So essay planning in a couple of weeks. Until that point, I hope you've enjoyed this short update from your fortnightly focus based around styles of writing. If there is anything that you need, then please don't hesitate to get in touch with the college. And remember that your Find Your Feet activities can be found from the college website. You just have to go to the individual course pages that you're interested in. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you in September.